turn that off. A bay leaf or two, or maybe just one big giant one that I break up. And a little bit of thyme. Can I grab thyme? I did. Could you, Brandy? There's like 3 jars of it over there. This is where I had some earlier. Huh. Thank you, Brandy. Oh, a little one, huh?
Well, I just grabbed the
It's
first
a
one I
little
saw.
one. Look at him.
Is there any in it?
How cute he is. Yeah, just enough, okay? So a little bit of thyme, and we're in business. Yeah, thought I'd grab one. Thanks, Brandy. So we're going to tie that guy up. That'll give us a little flavor. There's no salt in this sauce. I'm going to wait until the end before I start thinking about seasoning this sauce. So no salt yet. Going to trim that. I think I told you sometimes chefs will tie it to the handle. I just throw it in there. I'm just going to go ahead and strain the whole thing anyway, so I don't need to make a little fancy string for the handle or anything. So that's going to go on that back burner there, and I've got it. Notice that I've got my pot somewhat off to the side a little bit. Let's scooch that. Thanks, Cindy. That'll do, huh? Mm-hmm. My pot's off to the side a little bit, and the thing is if I put the pot right in the middle and try and adjust that flame down, the flame will go out, right? I can't get it so low to get a good simmer on this, so I tend to kind of turn it to low enough to where it's not going to blow out, and then I just move my pot around to adjust heat, right? I'm not always turning my knobs to adjust heat. Sometimes I add cold ingredients to a pot to adjust my heat, things like that, or liquid or something like that, right? So that Veloute's on. I'm going to give him one more adjust. Anytime you notice that he's thicker than you want, just adjust him. It takes you 2 seconds. And that goes for tomorrow, or Thursday when you guys are going to be cooking, okay? So that's a nice consistency right there, what I'm looking for. We call that a nappe. Nappe coats the back of a spoon, right? That's kind of the classic definition. Okay, let me get a bechamel going. This won't take me long. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that onion out of there. Everybody good? Everybody good? Any questions? So there's my onion piqué. I'm going to hang on to that. It's going back in my sauce. And I've got a little bit of fuzz on top of this, a little funk, so I'm just going to kind of skim that skin off. It's basically skin from the milk. You guys have seen warm milk before. The protein's kind of curdled. And that will leave little lumps or little specks in your white sauce. I also have a little bit of loose clove in there. I don't want specks in this sauce. It should be pristine and clean looking, right? So I don't really want those specks in there. All right, so I've got hot liquid. It was just at the boil. Let's get rid of that and that. So this won't take as long to come up as this veloute did, okay? So let me get another wooden spoon, and I'm gonna add my roux in stages here to see what things look like. So I'm just gonna grab a little chunk. More than I want to start with, and it's off the heat here. I need to get this smoothed out before I start trying to thicken things. So in it goes, and just kind of make sure that it's smoothed out. And I think that one just came apart. And now I'm going to turn on that heat, and we're going to see how thick it is. Notice I'm not measuring stuff, right? I'm showing you basically the technique behind this stuff. I don't give you recipes very much in here, guys. I give you just like lab work to do, you know, a recipe that'll get you through the lab. But outside of that, I'm showing you strict technique here. So I'm using my wooden spoon. I only use the whisk to incorporate. And this shouldn't take very long. It was just hot. It was just boiling. La la la. Good time for questions. Checking this pot. You guys see this little simmer over here? It's going a little heavier than I want. So I'm just going to scooch that pot over just a little more. Starting to get a skin on the top. When we are making this roux, I'm using fat as a vehicle for the starch to get into the sauce, right? We kind of talked about that. Now, what's in that starch we're using? In the case of cornstarch, it's straight starch, right? We call it a refined starch. In the case of flour, there are other things going on in that flour, right? I want the starch in that flour to thicken my liquids, but we got gluten in there. What's gluten? It's a protein, right? We've got other little trace elements, other components to that flour that don't really go to thicken my sauce. That's the stuff that comes up to the surface in your skin, basically. And we just kind of corral that and we move it off.